Hey guys, X3DXCon07 here, or Connor, and today I'm going to be covering my run in the Las Vegas Forest Cup. I went 6-1, getting 18 out of 21 wins. This was a very strong performance for me, and I made some mistakes, but overall I think I performed very well. So let's get into the matches. So going into match 1, I decided to lead Ferrothorn, as I think it's pretty safe against his team, and I don't think he's going to run one of the fires. I think he's just running double fire to scare his opponents, and he actually runs Shift Tree, and I'm pretty comfortable in this matchup because I know I can probably just throw Power Whip, and he's going to shield it because Shift Tree is so frail, and he actually goes straight for the Hurricane, not baiting this time, but now I know I can get to the Flash Cannon before he gets to another Hurricane, and this will definitely kill the Shift Tree, but he decides to shield again. And at this point, I don't really care if it's a Hurricane because I know I have Blaziken in the back, and Blaziken can just farm down Shift Tree if this Ferrothorn dies. And I decide to let this go as well, and it's just a Leaf Blade. So now I can come back in with Blaziken and farm down the Shift Tree. I know that this is only a Leaf Blade, it can't be a Hurricane. And now I can throw a Blast Burn at whatever comes in. And that's Stunfisk, and this actually does a lot of damage because Stunfisk is ground, but that doesn't resist fire. At this point, I probably should have sacked the Kingdra so I could take in the Mud Bomb, but I just let it go because I know Shift Tree's gone and Kingdra can just sweep, and luckily he has Blaziken in the back. So at this point, I know I can just throw Octazooka and win the game. In the second match, I decided to keep the same lead as Ferrothorn, anticipating that he won't run a fire, and he actually leads Stunfisk this time, so this is very favorable for me. And he switches out right away, but he switches into Mantime, which is also a win for me. So I'm planning to get a Power Whip off, I think. But I let this go thinking it's an Aerial Ace or a Bubble Beam, but it's actually an Ice Beam, which does a lot of damage. So I switch into Kingdra, and I decide to bait with Octazooka, but I'm worried that this is another Ice Beam. And it is. If he baited me with Bubble Beam there, I probably wouldn't have been in the best position. Now I just go for Octazooka, and he doesn't shield. But at this point, I just decide to farm down, because I know he can't get to an Ice Beam, but he actually didn't even get to a Bubble Beam. So now he brings back in the Stunfisk, so I'm just going to try and get off 1 or 2 Octazookas. And I know that he's going to have to land 2 Mud Bombs or Discharges to kill me. So he throws the first one here. And sadly, I'm not able to get to another Octazooka, but at this point I'm fine because I know I can come in with Ferrothorn and farm down. But he switches out into Blaziken, so I throw a Power Whip because he has 2 shields, and this is going to do a lot of damage to Blaziken anyways, but he doesn't shield. And now I know I can come in with Blaziken, shield once, and just farm down. At this point, I think I'm just going to win with him having 2 shields left. And that's what happens. So going into round 3, this round doesn't matter, but I decided to keep a similar grass lead, but this time I go into Jump Bluff. Probably just should have stayed with Ferrothorn because this isn't the best matchup for me. So I decided to go straight for the Energy Ball to do some damage before I switch out. It actually lowers his defense, so probably should have stayed in that matchup. But he throws a Bubble Beam and baits me, probably because I've been shielding all the Ice Beams he's throwing in the first 2 matches. So now I switch into Kingdra, which is my safe swap against his team since he only has Shift Tree to counter it. And I farm down the Mantime, surprised he didn't switch out, and now I can throw 1 or 2 Octazookas against this Stunfisk. Lowers his attacks, and now he's going to have to throw another one, but barely again, I'm not able to get to the next one. Throws a Mud Bomb, and now I can come back in with the Jump Bluff and probably farm down, maybe throw an Aerial Ace as a bait, but he actually switches out into Blaziken, and now I have Mantime in the back, and this is perfect. At this point, I just have to throw Bubble Beam, shield, and then farm down or throw another one. At this point, I don't know if he has Stone Edge or not. He does have Stone Edge, so that was a good decision to shield. And I just throw another one for safe measures, because if I get this Blaziken out of the way, it's pretty much game over. Now he comes back into the Stunfisk. Now this Stunfisk will kill my Mantime, but then I can just come back in with Jump Bluff and win the game. Don't really have to throw Energy Ball, I can just go Aerial Ace and he'll shield it. And that's looking like a wrap for round 3. So now I'm 1-0 going into round 2, and I'm going against Psy Rhino. Now in the first match, I noticed that people really like to lead grass against me in the first round, just because grass usually beats all of my team, especially if it's a Ferrothorn, except for Blaziken. So I lead Blaziken this time, and he actually leads Ampharos, which is a surprising lead. I don't see much Ampharos in this cup. I actually never even used mine once throughout this whole tournament. But I know I can win this matchup. And he switches into Mantime, so I switch out in the Ferrothorn, saving the energy on Blaziken. And he's also running Ice Beam. A lot of weird movesets in this cup. Usually most people run the PV Poke preferred moveset like myself, which is Bubble Beam, Air Lace. But Ice Beam seems to be very popular because, well, it does a lot of damage to that, to the grasses, which can be pretty dangerous in the first couple rounds. And now he brings in his Blaziken, and I'm just unable to get to that Power Whip to do some damage. But now I can wait out the clock and bring in Kingdra, and I switch out. And here I'm hoping that we did a CMP tie, and that's exactly what we did. So this probably really helped me take the win. But as you can see, I can just get to, oh, he switches out, and he doesn't get off a charge move here, so I can just throw an Outrage or Octazooki. Either would kill, and I can take this match. So in the second match, I decided to change up my lead to Ferrothorn instead of Blaziken. And I actually catch the Mantime because he was probably anticipating that I'd stay in the Blaziken lead. This is a good matchup for me, but I do have to watch out for that Ice Beam. Now I get off the Power Whip, and if we see him P-tie here, that means he's at a Bubble Beam, which he is, so he didn't charge up to that Ice Beam yet. At this point, he's probably going to switch out, which he does, into Blaziken, so I quick swap into my own Mantime. So at this point, I don't know if he has Blast Burn or Stone Edge. Oh wait, I do in the first match. Yeah, he has Blast Burn, so I don't have to shield. And I can just go straight Bubble Beam and probably farm down and Bubble Beam or Air Release, whatever else comes in next. So he brings back in the Mantime, which is very surprising. So I'm just going to get off some chip damage. He actually gains some energy and switches into Ampharos, and I'm sort of confused why he didn't switch into this the first place. He could have farmed down my Mantime and taken very little damage, but now I know I can switch into Kingdra, and this Ampharos is debuffed, so I just have to shield once, throw an Octazooka, hope to debuff him again, and then probably just farm down. And now since he's double debuffed, I don't have to shield a second Discharge or Thunder Punch, and now I can just farm down, and then farm down the Mantime and take the win. Again, this third round doesn't matter, but we decided to play it anyways. I stay in with Ferrothorn, he leads with Ampharos. Now I have to be very wary of Ampharos' Focus Blast, because I'm pretty sure that can one-shot me. I go straight for the Power Whip, because that's going to be doing a lot of damage. I'll need 2 Power Whips, or just 1 and farm down a bit to take out the Ampharos. Now I'm pretty scared of this Focus Blast, so I'm just going to shield anything that comes, and luckily he doesn't bait and go straight for the Focus Blast. So at this point I throw another one, anticipating that he'll shield and try and go for another Focus Blast, which he does shield. And I know if I just shield this, he probably can't get to a Focus Blast even if he is baiting, and I just decide to farm down and throw my energy at whatever else comes in. And he brings in the Blaziken, so I decide to Flash Cannon because this is going to do a lot of damage to the Blaziken, and it doesn't take a shield. So I safe swap into my Kingdra, and I catch the Mantime in the back. So I just go for the Outrage, either doing a lot of damage or taking his last shield. And he actually shields. And he throws an Ice Beam here. And now I'm hoping I can get to an Octazooka, but I think he's going to be able to just farm me down. So now I'm going to bring back in the Ferrothorn, but my Ferrothorn is pretty low health, and I can't get to that Power Whip. I think he's going to be at an Ice Beam, which will kill me. So now it's my Blaziken against his Mantime and Blaziken, which are both low health. He's going to get off 1 Bubble Beam here, and then probably switch out, which he does. I throw the Blaze Kick on his Blaziken, and now I just have to counter down that Mantime, which I do, barely. So going into round 3, I am 2-0, and I'm going against RC Cola, who has a very spicy team. Now he leads his Heatmore, and I lead Mantime, because Mantime has pretty decent matchups against all of his team, except for that Electivire, which hard counters it. So knowing that Heatmore has Thunder Punch, I just decided to shield the first one, and now I'm going to go for my Bubble Beam of my own. At this point, I'm worried he's going to get to another one, so I switch to my Kingdra, but we actually simultaneously switch, and this is bad for me. Now, if I would have known that he's going to switch, I obviously would have switched into my own Blaziken to farm down this Torterra, and he's going to throw a charge move. And Torterra actually has Sand Tomb, so this won't kill me, but it'll lower my attack. And now I'm going to bring in my Blaziken to farm. Now he brings back in his Heatmore. I know Heatmore, Thunder Punch, Power Punch aren't going to do much to me. So now I switch back into my Mantime, which has stored energy. And I throw this Bubble Beam because I just want to get this Heatmore out of the way, which I do. And he brings in the Electivire. So I'm going to try and get to a Bubble Beam, but we CMP tie. So I'm hoping this is not a wild charge, but just an ice punch, because that wild charge would have lowered his defense, which he probably didn't want to do against that Blaziken. So now I can lower his attack, but he's going to be able to farm me down here. At this point, I know he's going to go for an ice punch. He doesn't want me to counter down his Electivire, and wild charge would just make that worse. So now I know this is just going to be another ice punch, and I can just shield the second one. So if I didn't make that call, I definitely would have lost. Going into the second match, I anticipate Torterra or Electivire, and he brings in Torterra, so this is great for my Blaziken. Now he switches out into his own Heatmore, so I can switch into Kingdra, which definitely hard counters it. So in this matchup, I'm just going to farm down the Heatmore, so I can throw any energy that I have against that Torterra. And now he brings back into Torterra. I go for Octazooka because I know Outrage would one-shot the Torterra, or almost one-shot it, and Torterra is pretty frail, so he's going to shield it. And now I go for another Octazooka, unsure if I can make it to the Outrage, and he'll probably shield this as well, which he does, and it lowers the attack. Now I'm going to bring back in my Blaziken. Sand Tomb wouldn't do too much, but it is super effective, and Blaziken is pretty weak, so I just decided to shield it and farm down. He brings in Electivire. I can just throw a Blast Burn and one-shot this. And at this point, it's game over. Now this last match doesn't matter, but we decided to play it anyways. I decide to revert to my lead of Mantime, and I catch his Yanmega. This is pretty good for me, but I do have to watch out for that Ancient Power, because I'll be doing super effective damage to me. I go for the Bubble Beam. So at this point I can throw Bubble Beam, and if he does throw Ancient Power, it's not going to do too much. And he does shield the Bubble Beam, which is great, probably anticipating an Aerial Ace. So now I can just farm down. But he actually makes a good switch here in the Gastrodon, but I don't mind throwing my Bubble Beam at this Gastrodon, because I can just come in with Kingdra, and its attack is definitely going to be lowered. Now I'm worried that since he knows his attack is lowered, he's just going to go straight Earth Power, which probably wouldn't have killed the Kingdra. But up 2 shields, I was still worried about that, so I shield it just in case. I throw an Octazooka, and I can farm a bit here. Now he brings in the Electivire again, and I go for the Octazooka, which is great, hoping to lower its attack. I do lower its attack, getting lucky with the debuffs. At this point, he switches out to clear that debuff. And I know that Kingdra can survive this if it's an Ancient Power. It is. I farm a bit so I have some energy, and then I come back in with Mantime to farm some more. He's going to throw a charge move here. He could have gone for Ice Punch, which would have killed me, but he goes for Wild Charge. And now I know I can bring back in my Kingdra, get to the Octazooka, and win the match. Going into round 4, I'm actually playing someone who's beat me before, I'm pretty sure in a Voyager, so I know they're really good. And I decided to lead Ferrothorn because it seems like the safest lead, only losing to Blaziken pretty hard. And I go straight for the Power Whip, anticipating that we're going to CMP tie on the Bubble Beam. And that's what we do. And now I'm anticipating that he's going to switch out here, but he doesn't, but now he does. And it's into Jump Bluff, so I farm a bit. Waiting for him to throw the Aerial Ace because I don't want my Blaziken catching that Aerial Ace. I switch out, and now I can go Blast Burn, but I'm gonna have to shield these Aerial Aces. I don't think he can farm me down with Bullet Seeds, but his charge moves are gonna be doing a lot of damage. So hoping that he shields the Blaze Kick, I throw it. He does, and now I know that he probably doesn't want to commit his last shield, knowing that this is a losing matchup. So I'm gonna let this go and then go straight for the Blast Burn so I can nuke his Jump Bluff. And he lets it go. So now he brings back in the Mantime. I'm trying to get to a Blaze Kick, but I can't. Now I'm going to bring back in the Ferrothorn, I think. No, I bring in the Kingdra to farm a bit. He's probably going to throw a Bubble Beam, which he does. And now he switches. And here I'm trying to catch a Power Whip with my Ferrothorn, but that's probably a bad decision from me. So now I switch out, clearing that debuff, go for my Flash Cannon. And I can probably go for another Flash Cannon before he reaches his because I farmed up so much. And yes, I'm ahead 2 or 3 Bullet Seeds. So now I throw the Flash Cannon. At this point, I'm thinking I can just let this go and well, I don't have any shield, so I have to. But at this point, I'm thinking that Kingdra can finish off this Ferrothorn. And sadly, I can't get to a Power Whip. One Power Whip isn't going to kill me, so I know I can get to that Outrage. But he actually tries to make a sack swap here, which is the right play, and he gets to a Bubble Beam. And at this point, I think I'm barely going to win or I'm going to lose. And look at that. Super low health. Get to the Outrage. This Outrage won't kill, though, because I'm debuffed. And I farm down and barely win. In round 2, I think he's going to lead Blaziken, so I lead Kingdra, but he actually keeps the same lead as a Mantime. I view this matchup as favorable. It's pretty good. But usually I go straight for the Outrage in this matchup because Mantime thinks that By bubble beaming me, I'll have lowered attack and I won't do a lot of damage, so I go straight for the outrage. This is going to do a lot of damage no matter how debuffed I am. At this point I can just farm down, and he surprisingly doesn't get to another bubble beam. I'm going to throw an Octazooka at the Stunfisk, hoping to lower the attack. And he shields, and it does. So now he's going to have to throw 2 Mud Bombs or discharges again to take this Kingdra out. There's the first one. Almost able to get to the second Octazooka. And I decided to shield. I think in this line I didn't bring a grass type, so Kingdra is my only answer to Stunfisk. And he doesn't shield this one either. His defense drops again. So now I'm going to bring in my Mantime. And this match is looking pretty set. Now I don't know if he has Stone Edge or Blast Burn, but I decided not to shield anyways. And it's Blast Burn. I throw the Bubble Beam. He's probably not going to shield this, but he actually does. And now I'm waiting for him to throw that second charge move. I don't really care because at this point my Blaziken can come in, farm, and then throw energy at the Stunfisk, but it doesn't kill me, so now I throw a Bubble Beam at his Stunfisk, and I can switch into Blaziken and farm down for the win. Going into round 3 again, undefeated, I'm on a roll at this point. I anticipate that he's not going to lead Mantime for the 3rd time in a row, so I lead Blaziken, anticipating one of his grasses, and he switches into Cast Form after I lose the lead, and I shield this, and I want to lower his attack, so I can possibly take switch advantage back, because I know that's probably going to be pretty important, thinking that he has a grass in the back. It doesn't lower the attack, so I shield this again because I really want that switch advantage. At this point I think I can farm down, and that's what I do. And now he brings in Mantime, so he didn't have a grass in the back, and I can just throw straight Outrage, and he doesn't shield, not wanting to give up that last shield. And now I make a bad decision here. I try to switch out, knowing that I have stored energy, but it didn't really matter, and it was probably a bad mistake on my part. And now to clear the debuff on Ferrothorn, I just decided to switch out into Blaziken to tank whatever charge move it has. And now I'm going to go for the Blaze Kick, hopefully to take a shield, or just bring it down low. And it gets a shield. Probably thought it was a Blast Burn. And now I can just go for a Power Whip and win this game. Okay, so I'm now 4-0, going in the round 5 against fellow elite trainer Jetsen. So I see the double fire and decide to lead Kingdra. He switches into his Kingdra, which is usually a safe swap, and I switch into my Ferrothorn. He actually does something really smart here that I noticed after the match by switching into Kingdra. So what he does is, my hardest counter to Kingdra is, well, Ferrothorn. So I gotta switch in the Ferrothorn once I see his Kingdra. But after this, he can come back in with his Heatmore, and in the back he has a Stunfisk, and with my grass out of the way, assuming I'm not running double grass, which usually most don't, it makes the matchup in the back a lot easier for him. So now he brings in Heatmore. I'm able to get off a Power Whip, and I bring back in Kingdra since it's the hardest counter. I don't have to shield this because Thunder Punch won't do much, even a Power Up Punch, so I can just let it go. And he brings in Octazooka, and at this point I know I can't switch into Blaziken, so I'm going to commit 1 or 2 shields to Kingdra, get off an Octazooka, hope to take a shield and lower his attack. I do take a shield, which is good. I lower his attack, so I know I don't have to shield the next Mud Bomb or Discharge. He's going to have to throw 1 more. And I'm barely not able to get to Octazooka. I've seen that so many times in this tournament. But now I know I can come into my Blaziken, farm down, shield once if he gets to 1, but he actually switches out to clear the debuff. Now I know whatever he throws here against my Blaziken, it can't kill me, and the Thunder Shocks, the subsequent Thunder Shocks from Stunfisk won't kill me, so I don't have to shield anything, and I have double Blaze Kick for the Stunfisk, but at this point he knows the match is over. Knowing that a strategy didn't work perfectly in the first match, I decided just to keep the same team, and I get the Fire type lead again. So this time he's using Blaziken, which I think is the stronger Fire type on his team. I'm waiting for him to switch, but he doesn't. I think this is probably a Stone Edge where Blast Burn do a lot, and he actually does have Stone Edge, so I'm glad I shielded that. He switches into his own Kingdra. I again switch into my Ferrothorn. At this point, I'm pretty sure he has Stunfisk in the back, but I know that my Kingdra in Blaziken can probably handle it. And so now, he's going to throw an Outrage, and I'm hoping to farm an extra bit so I can throw a Power Whip at the Blaziken. But actually, no, I was wrong. I was so sure he had Stunfisk in the back, but he actually had Ferrothorn in the back. So I do a misplay and throw the power whip. But I actually get to another flash cannon. He's trying to over farm, knowing that I probably have my own fire type in the back that's ready to farm him. So now he's probably going to throw a power whip here, and this is actually barely going to not kill me, so I know I can get to one more power whip before I die, and this puts him pretty low. And he has the shield, so now I'm going to bring in my Blaziken. I know this is probably just a power whip, but no, it's just a thunder. So now I know he's going to switch. I throw the Octazooka against the Blaziken. Probably could have just farmed down or let him throw energy and then farm my own Blaziken, but I kill him. And actually right here, I make a huge mistake. I throw the Octazooka, and this is going to get the shield, but it lowers his attack so he can farm me way more. This is a really dangerous play given I only had one shield. And if he had back-to-back power whips, I probably would have died, but counter is too fast and I take that game. Alright, it's match 3 and it's another match that doesn't matter. I decided to go in Ferrothorn thinking he'll probably change it up, but no, he runs fire 3 times in a row. So I safe swap into Kingdra. He stays in a bit, and I think here he throws the Thunder Punch, which he does. And he switches into his own Kingdra. This is smart because my Kingdra's at a health disadvantage, so he can easily win out this matchup, but he is going to have to shield the Outrage. So now I'm going to come back in with my Ferrothorn and just farm up a lot of energy, because I know that it's pretty much useless given that he has Heat more in the back and I don't have switch advantage. So I'm going to farm up a little bit more, get to that Power Whip. And now I'm going to do a quick switch, anticipating the Heat more. And the disadvantage about his team is he has no man time, so he doesn't have anything that's like a really hard counter to Blaziken, besides his own and Stunfisk. So I know I can just double shield this matchup and probably just farm down. So that's what I'm going to do. Shield this Mud Bomb and then get some energy for the Blaziken. I mean for the Heatmore, my bad. So now I can just double Blaze Kick the Heatmore, and I barely make it to the second one. And that should be match 3. In round 6, I am 15-0 going against Ramberto, who is, I think, number 2 in the world right now. His team really threw me off. I think the bugs gave me the most problems, and in this first match, I didn't really pick the best team comp either. I safe swap into my Kingdra. Probably should just let this go, but I decided to throw the Outrage to do some damage. Because in this line, I actually don't have a hard answer to Ferrothorn. So I let this one go. This is going to kill me. And now I have to bring back in the man time. And I go for the Bow Beam, thinking that he's probably going to get to a Power Whip before I get to the Air Lace. Which that's probably debatable. But now I can farm down and hopefully get a Bow Beam for whatever comes in. Or Air Lace. And he brings back in the Kingdra, so I switch into Jumpluff. And he throws Outrage, which is a smart play because either does a lot of damage or it gets my last shield. And now it's Wormadam. Because Jumpluff and Mantime are so low, I can't really do much to this Wormadam. I'm just going to throw Air Laces. And he knows in this matchup he doesn't even need to shield. If he wanted to, and I think he does, he could just finish out this match by letting Wormadam go, not shielding anything, and just letting Kingdra Dragon Breath down. So now I throw Bow Beam. And right here, I probably should have just shielded this and then farmed down. But either way, Confusion's Dragon Breaths are going to be doing a lot of damage to me. And now I know he can just Dragon Breath down. So going into the second round, I decide to keep the same lead, but I do change up my comp a bit. So anticipating that I'd probably change up my lead, he leads Escavalier. Probably thinking that I'd lead Ferrothorn. And in this matchup, I probably should have just gone for Air Laces because he's not going to shield those Bow Beams, and also he switches out. Now I know that Ferrothorn can beat Wormadam, but I also feel like I have to get some chip damage off because it is close. And this is probably a misplay by me. Probably should have just thrown the Bow Beam and switched out the Ferrothorn. But I decided to stay in this a little bit longer than I should have, because now I switch out, and now his switch timer has had a lot of time to sort of reset. And now I'm just going to throw Air Laces at his Wormadam. At this point, he switches into his Escavalier, and he's going to throw Mega Horn, and that actually does a lot of damage to Jumpluff, because it's neutral damage with Stab. And now I'm just going to throw Air Laces, and he doesn't shield because he knows that I can't farm down. I'm also just going to let this go because Jumpluff really doesn't have much usability after this. And so now I bring back in the Mantime, gain a bit of energy. And he brings in Stunfisk. So I Bubble Beam this. I probably should have switched out and saved the energy, knowing that he'll just switch out right after this, because he does, and he clears that debuff. I know the move that's going to do the most damage to me is whatever comes from that Wormadam. And at this point, it's debatable on if I should have farmed down, but I wasted all my energy, and I am I don't have any shields, and he's 2 shields up against Ferrothorn, and he can actually win out this matchup. So I'm just trying to throw Power Whips, hoping that the Bullet Seed energy gain can help me out. And I probably should have worked to sack this Mantime into the Mud Bomb, but he's just able to throw Discharge and kill my Mantime. And now I have to get to 2 Power Whips, and it's going to be very close, but I don't think I'm able to. I'm 1 Bullet Seed away. So I've already lost at this point, but in round 3 I'm really just trying to rectify the mistakes I made in round 1 and 2, and it doesn't help that I lose the lead, so I save swap again into Kingdra, which for this tournament has actually helped me a lot. The save swap Kingdra, even if they come in with Ferrothorn, Outrage does a lot of damage to anything, but he switches into S-Cavalier, and with the damage he did with Stunfisk, he can probably just farm this down. But actually, he decides to waste his energy here. I don't know, I was really close to Octazooka, but I don't think I would have made it. And he drill runs me, and now I know I can come back in with Mantime and farm down. And I don't shield this Megahorn, and Megahorn still does a lot, even though I resist it. So I think I can farm down, and I can. So knowing my mistake in the last one, I don't Bubble Beam, and I save that energy. And it's really good that I saved this energy, because, well, I just have to double shield this Wormadam, and then when my switch clock comes back up and the Wormadam's low, I can hopefully throw Bubble Beam or Aerial Ace against it. So now I know, even if he throws Iron Head, which he does, which is a smart play because I'm going to shield whatever he throws at me, I can just double shield and hopefully have enough energy and health for that Stunfisk matchup. So here I see the switch clock, I'm trying to click it, and I actually save energy, and I come back in with the Aerial Ace, and this time I'm really happy I stored my energy. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first 2 matches, especially the second one. That one was really close, but I seem to learn from my mistake, and at this point, since I debuffed the Stunfisk, this match is won. I have a lot of energy on my Ferrothorn, and it doesn't matter that I'm half health because, well, this debuff Stunfisk isn't going to be doing too much. And so yeah, I lose the match, but I win round 3. So I'm still 5-1, which is in good position. I'm going against another Wormadam team, and I just hate Wormadam at this point. It's been giving me so much trouble. So probably in these matches, I'm just going to lead with Mantime and Ferrothorn, just because from the last match against Ramberto, I'm really wary of that Wormadam. So I'm just going to shield whatever he throws. Probably going to be Bug Buzz just because it's only 1 more confusion than Iron Head. Not too much of a risk throwing it. And I'm just going to go straight for Flash Cannon, knowing that I can win into 2 shield, but I will be down a shield. So what I do here is I let it go because I don't want to be at a shield disadvantage. I farm up to a Power Whip. I don't throw it, but I switch into Mantime. And now he brings out the Galvantula, which is what I was worried about. Because I don't have a Fire Fast user on my team, Double Bug is a super strong strat against me. So I just hope to throw Double Bubble Beam to get it low so I can farm off my Kingdra. But actually here I wait out the switch clock and I bring in Ferrothorn, I think, hoping to force a CMP tie. And I get off the Power Whip, and I'm really hoping that I force a CMP tie so he doesn't farm me. And we do, which is great. So I'm just going to let this go. And hopefully he has Blaziken in the back so I can come in with my Kingdra and farm down and win. What he should have done here is probably just switched out so he could clear the debuff and come in with Wormadam and then come in with whatever he had in the back. Because then that discharge would have been doing a lot more damage and he possibly would have won. And he does have Blaziken, which is great. That was my win condition, and I just throw an Outrage to be safe. Octazooka would have done the trick, but I just wanted to be safe. And now going into the second round, I decided to lead Mantime. I'm just still really worried about that Wormadam, and I know that Mantime is probably my best answer to it besides Ferrothorn. So luckily he leads Ferrothorn, and sort of like my idea in these situations is just to go double Bubble Beam and then Aerial Ace, but he does switch out, and luckily I get out fast into my Ferrothorn. And this is another mistake I made. I go for Flash Cannon against the Galvantula, and actually I just want to go double Power Whip here because that'll just kill the Galvantula. But at this point, I didn't run the sims. For some reason, I didn't test this out in practice, but I thought that I needed to land the Flash Cannon to beat the Galvantula. So as you can see, I still go for the Flash Cannon when I don't know, maybe I would have been able to get the 2 Power Whips. Definitely would have been able to, and he wins that matchup because of it. And now I've lost switch advantage. But his Galvantula is out of the way, which is nice. He gets off a discharge against my Kingdra, which sort of sucks. And now he brings in his Blaziken. I definitely shouldn't have switched there. I sort of screwed myself over by switching there. And now I had to waste that energy. And now here I'm just going to Bulb Beam the Wormadam, gain its attack low. And at some point I want to sneak into Air Lace so I can do some damage. And I'm really hoping that he thinks this is another Bubble Beam when I do this charge move. But unfortunately he does shield. And now I come in with my Kingdra, and this won't kill so I can get off some Dragon Breath damage. But it really sucks not being able to get off that Air Lace. But amazingly, I don't know how I do this, I'm able to pull off this win with 1 HP because Bubble Beam just lowered its attack so much. And look, quickly getting into the last round of the tournament. At this point, I'm 6-1. I'm really happy. So I go in with sort of a dumb line. He leads Wormadam 3 times in a row just because it's such a strong choice against my team. And my only counter to Wormadam is Ferrothorn. So yeah, it's not good for me. But I don't intend to shield anything in this matchup, just because I want to save my shields for Kingdra or Blaziken. And again, I'm going for the Flash Cannons. At this point, he knows he can just farm me down. And I barely am not able to make it to the Power Whip. And here I bring in Blaziken. I actually make... This is the game-changing decision. I don't shield the discharge. I should have shielded the discharge, and then I would have been able to farm down. And now I throw a Blaze Kick against the Wormadam, which he's definitely going to shield. But now I have to switch into my Kingdra against the Wormadam, which is not a winning matchup. He switches into his own Kingdra. I know I have to get to this Outrage. And as you can see, I have 1 shield left. And this is going to be very costly in the end. So he's actually going to throw a charge move. If my Blaziken had more health, I definitely would have let this go. Yeah, I can't make it to the Octazooka. I would have let it go and then saved it for the Blaziken so I could get to a Blast Burn. So at this point I went 6-1 and I actually tied for first. And since this tournament was for $100, which I didn't know about until the end as usual, we had to go to a playoffs. In this playoffs, whoever won it would get the $100. So these battles were pretty intense. Alright, going into match 1 against Mike Jet, and I forgot to mention that all these matches are just one match to determine who moves on to the next round. So it's all or nothing in these matches. And he has a really weird team. I lose the lead, so I save swapping the Kingdra, but he has a Blossom. I haven't seen a Blossom in this cup yet, and doesn't have Bullet Seed, it has Razor Leaf. But I get to decrease its attack, and I get the shield. Now I'm going to try and go for an Outrage, but I don't think I can. I go for the Octazooka. Now looking back on that, I definitely could have gone for an Outrage, and that really hurts since he doesn't shield it. I could have definitely won back switch advantage there, and we would have been on even shields. So now I can come in with Blaziken though, and I can farm up a bit, but I'm going to have to switch out right away since he has man time, and unluckily, I catch the Bubble Beam, but this lowers my attack, and he's just going to switch into Ferrothorn after gaining some energy on his man time. Now at this point, I thought I was over. I thought I lost. But for some reason, he throws Acid Spray at me. I never seen this moveset, Acid Spray. So I was like, maybe I have a chance here. If he doesn't have Flash Cannon, and at this point I think he has Thunder or Power Whip. And so I'm just going to shield whatever comes next, because I know he's just going to throw whatever his other charge move is, and it's Power Whip. So now I switch out, get off a Blaze Kick. This is definitely going to take his shield, and now he's going to switch back into man time. And I'm fine letting this go. I know that since he has a weird moveset on his Ferrothorn, I can probably just let my Ferrothorn handle the rest of the work. And now this Blaze Kick was pretty crucial as well, because it now puts the man time in Power Whip range. And again, we CMP tie, and I'm sort of happy it's not a Bubble Beam Air Lace, because I know that Power Whip and Acid Spray aren't going to do much to me, and I know he can only make it to 1, and I'm just going to make it to the Flash Cannon. And at this point, because of his movesets, I was able to win this game. Going into round 2 of the playoffs, I'm playing Jetson again for the rematch. I 3-0'd him in the tournament, but now it's all for nothing right here, so that doesn't matter. And I actually win the lead again. He leads fire for the 4th time in a row, counting our other matches. I know I don't need to shield this, but I do hope it's a power-up punch. It's a Thunder Punch, and I'm anticipating the switch out, but he doesn't. He probably wants to get rid of my Blaziken because he knows that's the biggest threat to his team, and I'm luckily able to get to one more. So I burned a shield, I didn't have to waste any shields, and I keep switch advantage, so this is looking great for me. Now he brings in his Stunfisk, and I have Ferrothorn in the back, and this is a great matchup for me. So I'm waiting for him to swap out. He probably has his own Ferrothorn in the back, and he does, and he makes a perfect switch into my Power Whip. At this point I have to stay in this matchup because I have Kingdra in the bag, which was really smart of him because he definitely planned to get my Blaziken out of the way with that Heatmore, even if he lost the lead. He got that Blaziken out of the way, and that really posed the threat to the rest of his team. So now it's going to be a really close match. I get to the Flash Cannon though, and at this point I have one shield left, and I think I'm just going to let him hit me with whatever, and I think I'm going to let Kingdra handle the rest. And he throws Thunder. I forgot he had Thunder. Now I'm trying to get to one more, but I can't. I definitely shouldn't have thrown the Power Whip because then he knew he could have farmed more. And I can farm a bit. And I'm going to shield this because it's going to do the most damage to me. And now he makes a switch into his Stunfisk. And here I think I go for the Outrage, knowing that it will definitely kill. Octazooka might have, but I didn't want to take that risk. And now I have to farm down the Ferrothorn, hoping he doesn't get to that Power Whip. And I'm barely able to, going into the finals of the playoff. One more match to go, and it's against Ramberto. I just have to win this one match against Ramberto, and I win the lead. This rematch is going to be very intense. Right here, I throw the Bow Beam, knowing I made a mistake last time, going for the Aerial Ace and staying in this match too long. Now I switch in the Ferrothorn, and I know this is going to be a lot easier to win. I still have to shield, maybe one Bug Buzz, but I just have to go straight Flash Cannon, and this matchup is going to be a lot easier to win this time. But I did switch in a bit late, and I did throw a charge move, so I know that eventually he's going to switch back into Escavalier, and I make a mistake here. I should have just thrown Power Whip to get rid of the Worm Dam. That was a huge mistake by me, and now I throw a Power Whip against his Escavalier, and Escavalier is pretty weak, but it still doesn't do that much damage. So now I switch back into my Mantine. And here, again, I make the same mistake of going for Bubble Beam. I probably just should have gone for Aerial Ace because that was going to do strong neutral damage, and he wouldn't have been able to get to another charge move, as you see here. And now I have to commit my last shield. At this point, it's looking really bad for me. I'm down 2 shields against a very top trainer. So now I realize that he's probably not going to shield, so I just go Aerial Ace. I'm just going to keep on going Aerial Ace. I actually go Bolt Beam, thinking that he may throw a charge move at some point. But now he can't farm me down, so he's definitely going to have to throw a charge move. But no, I get off one more Aerial Ace, so he will farm me down, but at the expense of me throwing one more charge move. So now I come back in with my own Ferrothorn to sort of sack it. He throws Power Whip, which was a misplay on his part, probably should have just thrown Flash Cannon, and he swaps into Wormadam, killing my Ferrothorn, and now it's Jump Fluff against this whole team. I'm barely able to Bullet Seed down his Wormadam, and now I have to get off 3 Aerial Aces against this Wormadam. I have to farm up so much energy. And this is the last Flash Cannon I can tank. I can't take another Flash Cannon. I get in an extra Bolt Siege, which is huge. I have to get off 2 more. And I'm almost able to, and I do. I get off the... I can't believe it. Jump Fluff is so OP. I'm able to get off that last Aerial Ace to take the match. But yeah, I felt like I made a lot of mistakes, especially against Ramberto. But it doesn't matter. I went 6-1. I ended up winning the playoffs for $100, and it was a great time. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.